The big challenge I see, I think everybody here would see, is the providing a response to the open data movement. We have a business model that basically charges, and the movement that all data is free is a challenge that we somehow have to address. Now, that challenge has been there for a decade, and it's quite a difficult challenge when it actually goes to the root, the absolute root of our existence. The chances of us getting grant funding to make certain parts of our operation free, I suppose, is a possibility, but I think it brings with it all sorts of other problems. But I do see that answering that challenge is going to be the big issue in the next 5 years. You know, how can we... Now, we shouldn't go here into arguments as to whether that challenge is a valid one even. One of the problems with many of the other databases in this area, both crystallographic and otherwise, is that they are publicly funded, as we used to be. However, public funding is not guaranteed. It is never guaranteed, and it's a political whim. And all I would say is that since we became independent, we have been, I think, a well-managed and well-financed organisation through the business model of selling data, or at least making a charge for our data. I think Olga once said to me, and it was a very interesting statement, she said that people don't appreciate a product unless they pay something for it. And one wonders whether the value of the CSD is actually seen as quite high in people's minds, because they do have to pay a subscription for it, and that subscription actually is very small. And I think some of the open data proponents really make rather a meal out of the very small amount that we charge academics, for example. So the open data, open access issue is one that will have to be addressed, and you know, some solution will have to be found that satisfies, I would say, a rather small number, though, a rather small number of people who are very vociferous in that movement. CCDC is a unique organisation, and it sits right between academia on the one hand and industry on the other. And I think, therefore, it's a very exciting place to work, actually. You're continually in touch with what are the strands of current research in structural chemistry, all branches of chemistry, in fact. And we're also in touch with the needs and requirements, which, of course, develop and change with time, largely, of course, in our case, with the pharmaceutical industry. So we are, I think, sitting in a very unique position to do some really exciting research and to bend the data and our provision of software products to the needs of both of those constituencies. So I think we do sit in a very unique position. So I think that's the word I would use to sum up what we are.